Here's the list of the nations that will ally together in this invasion of Israel by their ancient names: Persia, Iran; Cush and Put, the area we know today as Ethiopia and Africa, and the Sudan will be with them, all with shields and helmets. Also Gomer, with all its troops, and Beit Togarma. Beit is house in Arabic and in Hebrew. Togarma, believed to be the region we know today as modern-day Turkey, from the far north, with all its troops, the many nations with you. Now, I want to draw your attention to verse 13, because it's germane to our understanding of the significance of this UAE Israel agreement. We're told Sheba and Dedan. Now, if you look at a map, and I encourage you to do this, by the way, Google a map of the United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Saudi Arabia. They're all neighbors, basically. And they're all in that area that is ancient Sheba and Dedan, Saudi Arabia being chief amongst them. And what's really interesting is, by the way, I was listening to an interview with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu this morning, and he all but said Saudi Arabia is about ready to sign, so is Oman, and all of this area now, because UAE has essentially blazed the trail, paved the way, if you prefer. And so now it's just a matter of time before Saudi Arabia, who already has a very chummy relationship with Israel, if I can say it like that, and it's just a matter of time before they formalize it. So the prophet Ezekiel is telling us that Saudi Arabia, that area there in the Gulf, those Gulf states, and the merchants of Tarshish, there's a lot of speculation about who Tarshish is, and all her villages will say to you, have you come to plunder? Have you gathered your hoards to loot, to carry off silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods, and to seize much plunder? In other words, Saudi Arabia and Tarshish and the young nations, or lions, as some of your translations render it, merely protest this alliance of nations with Russia, Iran, and Turkey at the helm, when they invade Israel for the purpose of taking this spoil, what Israel has. That's the purpose of the invasion. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert for those of you that want to read chapter 38 and chapter 39 with it. It doesn't work out too well. Let me just say it like that. In fact, they are dealt by the hand of God, by God himself. In fact, God in Ezekiel 38 through the prophet says, I'm going to do it in such a way so they will know that I am the Lord their God. He's going to do it. He has to do it. I mean, there's no way. Here's Israel right here. Here's Russia, Iran, Turkey, et al. And they all come against Israel. It is believed by some, present company included, that this decimating and devastating defeat, it's really an annihilation of these invading armies and these allied nations that God himself delivers. It will take place within the span of about 24 hours. Let that sink in when this happens. So, why is this agreement so significant prophetically? Simply put, it's because this is exactly what the prophet Ezekiel said would happen some 2,500 plus years ago. That there would be this invasion, that somehow, some way, these Gulf nations, these Arab nations, will not only not be involved in this invasion, they will actually protest this invasion, which suggests that they will have had some sort of a peace agreement with Israel. Voila. Voila.